If you're looking for a beginner drone, this is one of the easiest options to start with. It's lightweight, under 250 grams, which means fewer restrictions in many places, making it much easier to use. In this video, I'll unbox it, walk you through the setup, and show you the main settings you need to get started. I've already opened it before, but I'll show you everything clearly as if you're setting it up for the first time. Right on top, you get the extra battery. This kit comes with 2 batteries, each giving you around 30 minutes of flight time, so roughly an hour in total, and the other battery is inside the drone. This is the drone itself. It's compact, lightweight, and feels solid, which is great if you're new to drones. Also very easy to carry around. You also get a set of cables to connect your drone to the controller, and to get a charging cable, so it works with pretty much any phone. And they also include 4 extra propellers, which is really nice to have as backups. In the pack, you get a cable for USB-C, one for Lightning, and one for micro USB. This here is the controller. On the front, everything is laid out very clearly, so it's easy to understand even if it's your first time. The control sticks are stored right at the front, which helps keep everything compact when you're not using it. Back to the drone. To open it, start by unfolding the front arms, and then you flip down the rear arms like this. And this here is the gimbal protector. Make sure you take it off before turning the drone on and before flying. It protects the camera during transport, so it's good to keep it on when you're not using it. This is where you charge the battery, and this is where your MicroSD card goes. I recommend inserting a proper SD card before flying, otherwise you might get an error in the app. To turn it on, just press once, then press and hold. You'll hear a quick startup sound when it powers on. Now let's get the controller ready. First, I'll attach the control sticks. They just screw in right here. If you press once, it shows you the battery level. To turn it on, press once, then press and hold. Hear a quick beep when it powers on. Then you extend the top section and bring out the connection cable from the side. Now I'll place my phone here and connect it using the USB-C cable. Once that's connected, we can move to the app and finish the setup. Inside the box, you'll find a QR code. You can scan this and it will take you directly to the DJI website to download the app. The app you need is called DJI Fly. Just download it, open it, and follow the steps on the screen. On the top right, you'll find the Academy section. This is where you can learn how to use the drone step by step. I'll select the DJI Mini 4K, and here you get different levels: beginner, complete beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I'll go into the complete beginner section. You'll see a quick welcome message, just tap OK to continue. From here, you can scroll through and see different lessons. And if you go to the course library, you'll find more structured tutorials that you can go through. This is really helpful if you've never used a drone before. Now let's go back and actually connect the drone. When you first open the app, you might see a new version available. I recommend updating to make sure everything works properly. You may also get a permissions request. Just allow it so the app can function correctly. From here, go into the connection guide and select the DJI Mini 4K from the list. The app gives you step-by-step instructions to get both the controller and the drone ready. In my case here, it did not connect automatically, and that's because I had another drone, Mini 4K, connected to the app before. This can happen sometimes, especially if you've used another drone. In that case, press and hold the power button on the drone until you hear a beep. And now we're in the camera view. Let's go over the settings quickly, starting with the safety settings. I set the maximum altitude to 120 meters, which is the legal limit here in Canada. And I usually leave the maximum distance on unlimited. In the control settings, you also have gimbal modes: follow mode, which keeps the camera stable, and FPV mode, which moves with the drone for a more immersive look. You can adjust your units depending on your preference. There's also a built-in flight tutorial here, which is helpful if you're new. You can also calibrate the gimbal. I recommend doing this if needed. And once it's done, you're good to go. In the camera setting, I usually turn the grid on. It helps with framing your shots. And you can leave white balance on auto to keep things simple. You can also see your SD card and cache storage here. The rest of the settings are more advanced, like transmission and system info. Now let's take a quick look at the main screen and what everything means. On the top left, you have the home button. This takes you back to the main menu of the app. Right next to it, you'll see the flight mode. By default, it's set to normal mode, which is the N, and this is the most stable and beginner-friendly mode. You also have Cine mode, which is slower and smoother for more cinematic shots, and Sport mode, which is faster and more responsive. These modes are selected directly from the controller. You'll also see a message here that says takeoff permitted. If you're not allowed to fly, this will show as a warning in red. This usually happens in restricted areas like near airports or hospitals. If you're in Canada, it's always a good idea to check the NRC map before flying. On the left side, you have the takeoff and landing button. You press it, then hold the takeoff button on the screen. Once the circle completes, the drone will take off automatically. It usually takes off and hovers at about 1.2 meters. Below that, you have the map view. This shows your drone's location and your home point. Next to the map, you can see the height of the drone and the distance from the home point. On the top right, you'll see the battery level in green. Right beside it, you'll see the estimated remaining flight time. This is calculated based on your current battery level and how you're flying. So it can change depending on things like speed or wind. It's a good idea not to rely on it exactly and always leave some buffer when flying. And the three dots give you access to all your settings. At the bottom right, you'll see your camera settings. When it says auto, it means the camera is automatically adjusting exposure for you. This is great for beginners, so you don't have to adjust settings manually. You can also see how much storage is available on your SD card. And here you'll see your resolution and frame rate. EV controls the brightness of your image. You can increase or decrease it depending on how bright you want your shot to be. Once you're familiar with the screen, everything becomes much easier to use. From here, you can choose between different shooting models. For photos, you have single shot, AEB, and timed shot. And for video, you can record normally or use quick shots for automatic cinematic movements. which I will show you in the coming video. These are only available during flights. You can also go into the library to view your footage. Here's an example of a quick shot that I took before. Now that you've gone over the basics of the controller, I'll quickly highlight a few additional buttons that are really useful when you're flying. This button here is the Flight Pause and Return to Home RTH button. A quick press will immediately stop the drone and make it hover in place, which is really helpful if you feel like you're losing control. And if you press and hold it, it will automatically return the drone back to the home point. This is the customizable function button, or the FN button. By default, it recenters the gimbal or tilts the camera straight down. But you can actually change what this button does in the app depending on your preference. And this button lets you switch between photo and video mode. So you can quickly change shooting modes without going into the screen. On the back, this button is used to start and stop recording, or take photos depending on the mode you're in. And this wheel controls the gimbal angle, so you can tilt the camera up and down smoothly while flying. This is especially useful for getting more cinematic shots. If you hold the function button while using the dial, you can also control zoom on supported modes. So once you get familiar with these controls, you'll be able to fly and adjust your shots without even looking at the screen. Once you're done, you can disconnect your phone and turn off the controller. Press once, then press and hold. Then tuck the cable back into place and close the top section. Remove the control sticks and store them back in their holders. Nice and compact when everything is packed away. Same thing with the drone. Press once, then press and hold to turn it off. Then fold the arms back in. And don't forget to put the gimbal protector back on to protect your camera. This is just a quick preview of what it can do. In the next video, I'll show you how to actually fly it and use the quick shots in real conditions, even when it's a little windy. If that's something you're interested in, make sure to stick around. See you in the next one.